Good morning, everybody. Thursday, January 26th, another Right Angle Sports Release show here on the RAS YouTube channel. If you have not done so already, hit the subscribe button down below. There's 1,000 of you watching. We've got 19 likes. Let's maybe try fix that a little bit. There's a like button down below. Appreciate all the support as always. Good to see the chat was booming early this morning as well. And I say it every time, but honestly, we got 70 plus games. It is a very busy Thursday. With all that said, let's get to some of the setups as we pull up the odds screen and everybody gets ready to begin. Fun show on Tuesday. If you haven't seen it already, Chiefs Bengals. We had a release show on the NFL. That's probably in your recommended feed as well if you want to go back and see what went on with that one. If you were perhaps busy on that Tuesday afternoon, no pun intended, but here we go. We will get rolling with the first setup here on a Thursday. Game number one that we are setting up, 8-3-3 Arizona, Washington State over 145, 11 p.m. Eastern, bottom of your card. 8-3-3 Arizona, Washington State over 145, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Couple more seconds for 8-3-3 Arizona, Washington State over 145 at 11 p.m. Eastern. Game number 8-3-3 Arizona, Washington State over 145 is a cancel. Not betting Arizona, Washington State over 145. This is a cancel. Starting off the Thursday show with a cancel. Go to the next setup in a couple of seconds. Next setup, game number 775, Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Setting up 775, Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Couple more seconds. Game number 775, Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5 is a go. Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5 is a go. Have it in your bet slip. Bet it immediately. Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5 is the first bet for a very big Thursday card. We see this number start to move pretty quickly, but a lot of books lagging a little bit behind. We have some videos here on the channel, things to look at, things to watch for. You may want to check those out. Some interesting notes there with the movement. Alec was able to get a full point better than the release show to kick things off. Same thing with Eric. Jeremy was able to get half a point better. Seeing Michael was able to get half a point better as well. And then just a flurry of 133s in the chat as well. Kevin, Brian, Tony, Patrick was able to get the release odds as well. There's a lot coming through in the chat. You guys did well on this one. Brent was able to get the 132.5. Same thing for Patrick. Keith was able to grab it. John at 132.5. Spade always coming back to the show. Same thing with Tim Fraley, 133.5. And the chat is booming with 133s and 133.5s to start things off. Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5, the release line, as we see this one get all the way up as high as 137 at the moment. Moving on to the next setup of the day. Setting up game number 767, SMU Memphis over 150. This is at 7 p.m. Eastern time. 767, SMU Memphis over 150, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Couple more seconds on SMU Memphis over 150, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Game number 767, SMU Memphis over 150 is a cancel. Canceling SMU Memphis over 150. SMU Memphis over 150 is not a bet. Moving on to the fourth setup of the Thursday show. We're setting up game number 752, Iowa, Michigan State, under 148.5, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 752, Iowa, Michigan State, under 148.5, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Couple more seconds on Iowa, Michigan State, under 148.5 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 752, Iowa, Michigan State, under 148.5 at 7 p.m. Eastern is a go. We were betting Iowa, Michigan State, did it again. Iowa, Michigan State, under 148.5 is a go. We are betting this one. If you have it in your bet slip, bet it immediately. Under 148.5 is a bet in Iowa, Michigan State. Let us know where you're looking. Some slander for certain books pummeling the chat at the moment. Ryan was able to get the 148.5. Same thing with Jeremy, seeing a 149 posted as well. Bryce was able to get 149. Sean found 149 at Ace. Michael got it at Bet Rivers. Brent was able to get 149. Matt, 148.5, along with a ton of others. Good to see Joe back for another show down south, 148.5. Haven't seen that name in the chat in a little while as well. Ryan at 148.5 as well. Travis got it at FanDuel. That's good for everybody. 148.5 for Devin Barth as well, who was optimistic. He said before the show everything was going to cover by 10 plus points. There was a lot of optimism from Devin. This morning was good to see. 149s popping up in the chat as well, as this game is now down to 145.5. Obviously, as we see in the chat right now, people are complaining about one specific book. If you're having trouble getting there, lots of other sports books on the board. Would highly recommend considering looking at other options. If you're only playing at one, you need as many as possible. Again, there's some videos here on the channel that we've uploaded that you might want to check out that will help you perhaps have more success if you're only stuck playing at one specific sports book. Next setup. Give everybody a couple of seconds. Setting up game number 768, SMU Memphis, under 150 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 768, SMU Memphis, under 150, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Give everybody a couple more seconds. 768, SMU Memphis, under 150, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 768, SMU Memphis, under 150 is a cancel. Another cancel within the SMU Memphis game. We are not betting under 150. Moving on, next setup of this Thursday card, going to game number 823. Cal Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, over 135.5. This is at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 823, Cal Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, over 135.5. Give everybody a few more seconds for Irvine, Fullerton, over 135.5. Game number 823, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 823, Irvine, Fullerton, over 135.5 at 10 p.m. Eastern is a cancel. Not betting Irvine, Fullerton, over 135.5. This is a cancel. Couple more seconds. We'll get to the next setup. Busy Thursday. Got to keep pushing. Lots of setups. Still under 10 minutes. Good pace to the show this morning. Next setup. Game number 807. USC, UCLA, over 131 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 807, USC, UCLA, over 131, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Couple more seconds on USC UCLA over 131. Game number 807, USC UCLA over 131 is a go. We are betting USC UCLA over 131. This is a go. If you have it in your bet slip, bet it immediately as we start to see the board begin to move, as always. But again, for those of you that may be struggling, you can kind of see what's taking place here on the screen. So take note of that as you get into the YouTube chat and let us know what you were able to find. It was a great day for Alec, who was able to get half a point or a point better on a number of the releases. Ryan was able to get 131. Dram was able to get 130. Seeing Bobby was able to get 131 as well. Michael, 131. A whole lot of them coming in as well. Connor was able to get that 30.5. Same thing with Ed. We're seeing that Matt was able to get 131. Same thing with Sam. A lot of 131s coming into the chat as well. For those of you who were posting the FanDuel 131.5, that is within that half point on the total. That's looking like a good number as well. But if you're like someone like Robert, who was able to get the 130 better than the release price, you're doing very well. But a lot of 131s coming in a hurry here in the chat. So that's good to see that all three of the goes so far, Arkansas State, Southern Miss, Iowa, Michigan State, as well as USC, UCLA, had a ton of success with people posting these numbers or half a point better in a lot of cases inside of the chat. 12-minute show. Really good one here for a Thursday that has more than 70 games on the boards. 3 bets in total. Arkansas State, Southern Miss over 133.5. Iowa, Michigan State under 148.5. And USC, UCLA over 131.5. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Saw we got over 1,100 people. Before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you have a couple extra seconds as well. Next show scheduled Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, same time. Enjoy the games tonight. We'll talk to you on Saturday morning.